Today we're looking at question number 24 from our Geometry Plus lecture notes. This is on page number 69. Let's read it together. In triangle PRS, A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F equals. Now this is an interesting question. It's a geometry question, of course, and we don't see much of that on the SAT. But I still wanted to talk about it today because I feel like it's a slightly difficult and interesting geometry question. Most students will look at this and have no idea what to do. Not only is this question very short and non-specific, but the picture itself doesn't really give away much information. I don't know the relationship between PR and S. I don't know the relationship between any of these angles. All I know is that we're inside a triangle with a bunch of little mini triangles. So let's start off by thinking, what is the one thing we know about triangles? We know that all the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Since I don't know A, B, C, D, E, F, I could go ahead and plug in numbers for these. On algebra questions, when we see a bunch of letters or variables that we don't recognize, we resort to plug in. Geometry shouldn't be any different. So let's see, what are some numbers that add up to 180 that I could sign A, B, C, D, E, and F? 60, 60, 60 seems to work well. I could be more creative, but since it's not giving me any specific information, I'm going to go ahead and pick the simplest numbers. If I make A, B, C, D, E, and F all equal to 60 degrees, that should work out nicely. 60, 60, over and over again. If we check, the only thing that this really relies on is that these outer angles are also 60 degrees. That seems to work, as the bigger triangle also needs to add up to 180, and that these inner angles are also 60 degrees, which works for the exact same reason. Basically, what I created for myself is a really simple triangle where every single thing is 60 degrees. I'm not breaking any rules. Everything seems perfectly fine. Now we can look what the question's actually asking. It wants to know what all of these letters add up to. Since all of the angles were 60 degrees, we're just adding 60 degrees 6 times. 60 plus 60, 6 times is going to add up to 360 degrees. That's choice C. There's some theoretical geometry ways of getting this question correct, but frankly, I'm not a fan of any of them. I like to mark these angles with numbers that seem convenient to me in a very typical plug-in way, and then figure out an answer that seems clean. You could try it yourself with different angles if you'd like. If you think 60 is too convenient, try to mix up the angles a little bit more. It'll always work out to be 360 degrees. So remember, on geometry questions, even though they're a lot weirder and a lot more difficult than a typical algebra question, we can still use plug-in to steal points just as easily. Good luck, everyone.